What's going on, guys? This is Alex over at Boost Controlled Performance. Today we're in a 2019 Supra, and I wanted to go over some of the basic custom features that we can use with ecutek to enhance the driving experience of this car. Some of you are already familiar with how these features work, but I do get asked a lot of questions when we deliver a car of how people can use their custom features. We're on the dyno right now. That's why we've got some warning messages over here. But the first feature let's talk about would be the map switching feature. So why do we want map switching? Well, it allows us to change the power level of the car. It allows us to change things inside the ECU, like airflow limiters, air fuel target, ignition timing, things of that nature. So this particular car is a BCP stage 3 setup. And by changing the maps on the fly, the driver can actually switch between about 400 wheel horsepower to 450 wheel horsepower to 500 wheel horsepower. So we supply 3 different maps with this package. And the way that the end user is going to change the maps is very simple. You're going to look over here. These are our cruise control switches right here. The reset and cancel buttons are the ones that we're going to want to be looking at right here. So I want to get the tachometer in view here. This is the tach over here. Watch what happens when I press and hold this. Notice how the tach goes into what we would call a hijack mode. And now I can change between the map positions on this car. The way that I'm changing in between the map positions is with this toggle switch right here. Very simple. So once I choose the map that I want to be in, I just go ahead and stop switching it, give it a second, and it'll go back to normal. Tachometer's in normal mode, works like normal again. So what this means is map 1 in this case is the lowest power map, and map 3 is the highest power map. Very simple, quick, effective way of changing the amount of power this car is putting down. Now, another button that comes into play here would be the sport mode button right here. And as you can see up here, you can see when sport mode comes on and off. Now, every tuner is going to set up the sport feature versus the normal feature differently, but one thing that's going to remain the same on pretty much all cars, at least for the time being, is in sport mode the car is going to shift a little bit harder. So when you're running sport mode, you'll notice that. If you're racing in a drag race or something, I would suggest using sport mode. But furthermore, in the tune on this particular car, on the BCP Stage 3, we don't give you full power on map 3. So map 3 as in this. We don't give you full power on that map 3 unless you're in sport mode. So in normal mode, you've got 1, 2, and 3, and you get about 90% of map 3. And then if you put it on sport mode, you'll get 100% of map 3. So that's kind of the difference between those two. Another thing is that we adjust the burble feature or the crackle feature when it's in sport mode. It's going to crackle a little bit more. You can hear that crackling right now. And if I put it in normal mode, it's much more of a conservative burble or crackle, and we can adjust that to your liking. So that's how you do those changes. Let's go ahead and get the car rolling. Let's talk about another interesting feature. This next feature was made popular by the GTR platform, and we do have a ecutek custom feature video for the GTR, for the R35. So if you haven't seen that and you're interested in it, check it out. But this next feature is the rolling anti-lag, or the rolling boost function. And this is really useful if you want to drag race from a specific speed from a roll. And essentially what it does is it pre-spools the turbocharger. So I'll give you an example of how it works, and you can kind of see the difference. So let's say I want to race someone from about 40 miles an hour. We're going to put it down in map 1 just for demonstration's sake. So if I want to race someone from 40 and I just floor it right now, there'll be a little bit of a delay. Not a long one, but it's enough of a delay to sometimes cost you a race. If I want to use rolling boost, it's very simple. Just make sure that your cruise control is not activated. You'll know when the cruise control is activated because it'll show you the cruise control icon on the dash. It won't let me show you that right now because we're in dyno mode, but you want to make sure cruise control is not active because this feature will only work when you're not actually trying to use cruise control. So you want to get to the speed that you want to go from. I think we're right around 40. Now watch how quickly the turbo spools when I do this. I'm going to press and hold the set button. I'm going to floor the gas pedal, and then I'm going to release the set button as soon as I hear the turbo spool. So I'm going to press this, floor the gas, and then release it. As you can see, it builds boost instantly. As soon as I let go of it, the car started accelerating. Now that was only on map 1. If we go ahead and turn this up to map 3. Now that was only on map 1. If we go ahead and turn it up to map 3, you'll notice an even more obvious difference here. So remember, I'm going to press it and hold it and then release it when I'm ready to go. That is how the rolling boost function works. So the last custom feature that I'm going to go over is maybe a little less of an exciting feature, but it could definitely be useful in certain situations. This one's called Valet mode. And I know some of you would never valet this car, but I also know that some of you might valet this car. I mean, after all, it's a nice car to take out to dinner, and sometimes it's hard to not valet. So what we're going to do is we're going to enable valet mode for you if you want it. It's really easy. It works the same way as map switching works. We're going to press and hold the reset cancel button, but we're actually going to go all the way up to 7. Once we get to 7, we're going to hit the reset cancel button again, and you'll probably notice that the temperature gauge over here is changing. So the full bars, or the 6 bars, indicates that valet mode is activated. The single bar indicates that it's deactivated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate it, wait a second for it to lock in, and now we're in valet mode. So valet mode enables a speed limiter and a throttle limiter as well. So let's see how fast we can go in valet mode. So I am literally flooring the gas right now. I've got the pedal to the floor. We've got a speed limiter set up on this of about 38 miles an hour. So if somebody's valeting this car, not only are they not going to be able to get into boost because of the throttle limiter, but they're not going to be able to go over a certain speed. We can even set it up so that the car will stop after a certain amount of miles. So if these are some features that you think you could take advantage of, definitely let us know and we can set that up in your tune. Now, when you want to take it out of valet mode, just press and hold the cancel again, point it up towards map 7, and then hit the cancel button again. And you can see how I'm just switching in between them so you can see the change happening. But it was 6 bars, put it back to 1 bar. It's out of valet mode now. Now we can go ahead and confirm that it's off valet mode. We can exceed the speed limit. It's making power again, and we are back to normal. I wanted to thank you guys for watching this tutorial today on how to set up your Supra custom features with ecutek. I hope that you can utilize these features in the best ways possible when you're racing the car. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I know that this is easily explained, but it's also a lot to take in at once. I would get comfortable using these features when you're just cruising around playing, so that when you are at a racing event or something like that, you're ready to utilize them. For those of you who are wondering, this car does have our Stage 3 package, which I had mentioned at the beginning of the video. This is a true 500 wheel horsepower package with the stock injection system, no meth, nothing special, just on 93 octane. If anybody is interested in any of the packages that we offer, feel free to leave it in the comments or reach out to us through our contact method in the description. The Stage 3 package is one of our higher horsepower packages for this car, just below the Stage 4, which does incorporate methanol injection. But this is a really reliable, repeatable setup, just on a factory injection system on pump gas. So it's really cool for a lot of people. These cars are stout from the factory, but when you throw another 120 horsepower at them, they really wake up, and all of a sudden traction becomes an issue. So once again, thanks for watching. I really hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. Maybe hit the like button if this was helpful to you. Maybe hit the subscribe button as well. Keep an eye out for our new videos. Drive safe out there, have fun, enjoy your car, and have a nice day. Thanks.